Good evening, Carla Hartley here. It is Friday, May 15th, 2020, and I'm going to talk to you about something that may not be too popular, but I think many of you need to know. We're seeing a lot of people that are marginalized in the present crisis. We're seeing a lot of people that for one reason or another have not been paying taxes. They've been 1099, deducting everything in their life, or self-employed, not being real honest on their taxes for the past few years. And in the COVID crisis, where this is impacting these people, is they are not eligible for any of the aid that's being offered to so many. The Small Business Association does use your tax returns to verify and to authenticate your requests for either the Payroll Protection Program or for the EIDL, the Economic Injury Disaster Loan. And if you have been minimizing and finding a way around paying people W-2 wages, you're not going to get the payroll protection money, or you're not going to be able to get as much because you can't prove that you had all of these people dependent on your business. Similarly with the EIDL, you're not going to be able to prove what your expenses are if you've been hiding the money that you've had coming in. And I think this has long-term, in fact, I know this has long-term and very applicable consequences in the context of a family law proceeding, specifically in the context of a family law marriage and divorce proceeding. So let me just play this out for you. We have a self-employed, for example, let's go with the statistics on this. We have a self-employed husband and a W-2 employee wife. And she's not earning a lot. She's earning a good wage, and he's making major bank with his self-employed business, or even if he has a couple of employees. But over the years, they develop a habit in order to minimize their tax bill of lying on their taxes. I have literally seen this case happen so many times where the business makes it look like it's earning $15,000 a year, and the spouse that is the W-2 employee is maybe making $20 an hour, which is a decent wage. But how did they then acquire 3 houses? If you want to prove what the marital standard of living is, when people have signed their taxes under penalty of perjury for many years that they made so much less than they did, it is complicated. And there are many risks associated. The first risk is getting the expert involved, the forensic accountant, to look at this and say, wow, we've got this amount of money is income available for support, and this amount of money was the marital standard of income. So you have the marital standard of living. So that's your first consequence. You're paying an expert. You're thinking, okay, if I'm going to get divorced, I'm willing to deal with the expert. Besides, if you're the spouse that's in the business, you're still thinking this isn't hurting you too bad. It's the other spouse that is hurt. Okay, so you get past that. We're having to pay for an expert to figure out how much money was going through the marriage. And then the next thing we have is the IRS is starting to watch what's going on in your family law proceedings. So now, in many cases, people are feeling like they can't even hire the expert, or they have to do it all with confidential agreements and a settlement agreement that's not actually logged with the court. They do this because they don't want to end up losing everything that they have acquired, paying back taxes to the IRS, which is a very real possibility. I haven't seen it happen in our county, but I am aware in some other counties, these people have been reported by somebody in the courthouse who was listening in on the trial or the hearing or whatever was happening. So those are 2 reasons. The third reason is, okay, so now you're you're this spouse that's been earning less money. You're the W-2 employee. We can prove your income. You've been making $20 an hour for a long time. But oh my gosh, your poor spouse only makes $15,000 a year, and you've been signing that tax return every year saying that he only makes $15,000 a year. If you're not willing to spend the money on the expert and go the full distance on this, the W-2 employee, who is the lower earning spouse, may well end up paying support to the high wage earner because that person hid their wages. This is a miscarriage of justice. This is a travesty in in such huge terms, I cannot really adequately express the unwisdom, the absolute foolishness, the penny wise and pound foolishness of lying on your taxes. But wait, there's more. What if you're thinking, I never get divorced? What if you're going to deny all the odds and go, I think we're going to make it. We're going to make it till we're, 70 years old. We're going to retire together. We'll be just fine. Okay, so far so good. So you retire and then one of you dies. When you retire, let's talk about Social Security. You're going to get a lot less Social Security than you would have otherwise had. And you're going to be retired for a long time because we are living longer and longer and longer. So your Social Security benefit is going to be greatly decreased. And when one of you dies, their benefit is greatly decreased. If the W-2 employee dies first, maybe the other spouse will be okay. But not if it's vice versa. This is such a long-term mistake. And it has so many applications. I thought of this today because I'm watching people who are applying for this COVID money just not get it. Just not get it or be afraid to get it because they're afraid of the audit. We may have government top-down closures for the rest of our natural lives. We've had SARS and MERS and now COVID-19 coming out of other countries. And this is the first one that shut us down, but they're talking about second waves and so on and so forth. If you're paying into government benefits, if you're being honest on your taxes, you are going to have a safety net. Many people, very conservative, think they don't need a safety net. Many people, very liberal, expect the safety net to be there even if nobody pays into it. Both are wrong. Somebody has to pay into it in order to have it. And this is the society we live in, I strongly suggest that even if you've missed this benefit, you think about your future. You start telling the truth on your taxes. Get a good, reputable CPA. This is not something I can fix for you, unless you're getting a divorce. Get a good, reputable CPA, and chances are you're not going to pay much more in taxes. But it's going to be a lot more honest. You'll be able to document every dime coming through your business. That's the way to go. I hope this has been helpful. I hope somebody hears it, and I hope someone considers it wise. Have a good night. Thank you.